All the Mods 9 has this item called the All the Mods Star, and it's a very complicated item to make. So auto crafting is very important, and there's a lot you can make. Alright, so since last episode, nothing has happened. I took a look at my quests here, and I realized chapter 1 is done. So we're on to chapter 2, and there is a lot to do. And some of these items, like the pulsating black hole, require a ton of stuff. And if we're gonna be making those things, I think we're really gonna need to start automation. Because if not, I am never gonna get this done. However, I don't wanna automate in this way. I kinda wanna use these refined storage crafters, which aren't that complicated. But first, having to run over to these crafting grids all the time is kind of annoying. So I wanna make one of these wireless crafting grids. So we're just gonna need an advanced processor, a crafting grid, an ender pearl, and quartz enriched iron. We just need to make a few of the cores, and now we can make the wireless crafting grid. But as you can see, no network is found. That's because we need to come to this controller here, and then shift right click it. But now if we try to use it, there is no wireless transmitter in range. So we'll have to make one of these. Except there's an advanced wireless transmitter, which increases the range by a ton. So I'm gonna make one of these, which means we will need the regular one in the first place, and then a super advanced processor, which I hope is easy. Yes, it is, just requires netherite, but that's okay, as we have 17K. So here's the processor and the transmitter. So now we can just create the advanced and throw it on top of here, which will give us 1,000 blocks by default. And it's only using 100 FE right now. However, there is an infinity range booster. It actually doesn't look that bad. Just a couple range upgrades and Enderium plates. We can do all this. And this right here is why I want to do this crafting automation, as this part sucks. But either way, there we go. However, there's a dimensional card, and that requires 4 infinity range boosters and nether stars. But that's really not a problem, as we fought a lot of those when we built our armor. So let's make 3 more of these, and there's the dimensional card. But now we can throw this in here, and if we teleport over to this land over 1,000 blocks away, I should be able to use my wireless crafting grid. Wait, what? Excuse me, why you no work? Infinite range for RS wireless works across dimensions. This should work. Maybe do I need to pair it again? What's going on? Ah, there we go. Guess the advanced wireless transmitter doesn't like it. So now if we come over here, we can access our system. And then the same if we come into the nether. So these all around our base now are pretty much useless. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and throw this in a bobble slot. And if I go into my keybinds, we can set Control E as open wireless crafting grid. So I can do that anytime now and save space in our inventory. Anyways, now we can do the crafter. So there we go. But there's actually different levels of crafters that we can use with extra storage that go from iron to netherite. They just get very complicated. So for now, we'll start with the iron one, and then we'll see about the gold. Neutral processors. How do we make these? Okay, that isn't too bad. So here's the gold one. Might as well make the diamond and the netherite. Okay, that wasn't as complicated as I thought. So now I can actually just place this right here. And we got a ton of slots of crafting recipes. We just need to fix this orientation of the block. And we need a wrench to do that. Now I believe we just right click like that. However, now we need to make the crafting recipes for this, which I believe makes us need the pattern grid. So let's make a blank pattern and then a grid, which means we can craft this up, and I'll move our soul extractor and place that right there. And now we can make a bunch of either processing patterns or exact patterns. We'll just need a ton of these cards. So let's make a stack of these. And now seeing as I'm actually gonna need a few more of these crafters, I'll make a recipe for the machine casing, one for raw advanced processors, construction cores, obviously some raw basic processors as well, and then a destructive core. And now we can just throw all of these in here. If we scroll to the bottom, we'll have some of them in here ready to go. So now if we just click on this, we can set the amount we want to craft, hit start, and it'll tell us all the items that are required, and we just hit start again. So now if we look for a machine casing, we got it right there. So I'm gonna do all the basic things we need, and I'll be back. Well, I hope that's everything I need, but I seriously doubt it. So if we change this display from normal to craftables only, we have absolutely everything in here. And we actually have a giant storage disk we can craft. So let's go ahead and start that right now. All right, there's a lot of items we're missing. Don't think we can do that just yet. So I think we should start with the improved processors, or at least one of the type of processors in here. And I say that because we actually need to smelt raw improved processors. However, we don't have the smelting being done automatically, which is a problem. because that means we can't make a lot of items necessary to craft. Good thing there is a way to do it, and that's with processing. So with processing, all we need to do is search the item we actually want, and we take it, put it in here, and we can actually subtract or add, depending how many of each item we need to get the final result. So we'll just subtract this one down to 1, set that, and then I believe we just put the final item at the side here, and we create that. But we can't just throw it in the crafter because the crafter can't smelt anything. So what I was told by you guys is to make an unobtainium furnace, which is very easy to make. It just requires one of the below tiers going up to it. So here's the furnace. So now I just need to build myself a crafter, an importer, and some cables. And now if we come into our auto crafting room, I think I might actually replace this section here with the crafter right there, the chest, furnace, and then the importer. Now all we do is connect it into a receiver, and we'll throw a glowstone facade right there. And now we can take our cable and connect it, and this can be covered back up. So now I believe if we throw our pattern in here, I thought it connected. Maybe I just need to run the cable. And there we go, now it's powered. Oh, but we need coal into here. Forgot about that part. Maybe we'll just do a smelting factory. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So now if I put that there, wait, I can't plug it in there. Maybe we'll need to change our power output. And I think for that, we're gonna use these ender gates. So we just need obsidian, energy cable, which doesn't look that bad, and then an ender core. Oh, that's a problem. We don't have this machine. How do we make that? A bit of glass. Not even gonna try to pronounce this. Just call it a rod. Okay, that's doable. And this is doable as well. We just need paste and iron bars. Now the rods, wait, oh, there's 2 different types of rods. Okay, let's make some of those too. So there's the casing and then the energizing orb. So if we place this down, oh, you can't access it. This is like a ritual style thing, isn't it? You probably need these energizing rods. Now we need basic capacitors and we just have to make them tiny. I imagine we're gonna need more than 1 of the rods, and I'll just build this over here. Why can't I place these down? Oh, this mod confuses me. Wait, I shouldn't even need this barrel at all. Let's move that, and then we'll lower this down, which means we can get rid of this pipe, and that can just auto-eject in, just like that. So now if we go to craftables only, we have the advanced processor right here, and we start, it'll automatically go. But why am I running out of power? Oh, that's a problem. Yeah, this wireless transmitter is using quite a bit. So we're gonna need to make a reactor bigger. So let's make a process for our casing, 1 for the rods, the rod controllers, and our machine's flickering. I think for now we're just gonna have to take this out. And then a process for our enduring blocks. So we'll need 7 stacks of the casing, 4 stacks of the rods, and 2 stacks of the controller rods. However, to build, we're gonna need to move our current reactor, and we're either gonna move it to right here or right here. Yeah, I think here's gonna be the better option. Well, there's 8 chunks, a 32 by 32 by 32 area. And now all we need to do is build our reactor. And there we go. That's a lot of stuff. That took way too long. But now we can come into our reactor, turn it on, even though it is nowhere near full on fuel. And we definitely have more than enough power now. So let's throw our dimension card back in our wireless transmitter. And I genuinely forget what I was doing before this. Oh, right, it was this because it ran out of power. But as you can see, one of these things is complete now. And seeing as this is just doing the processors, I can take the raw processors of each kind and make a pattern for them. And then go ahead and throw all of them in here. So now I believe we can make anything from refined storage. So now let's move on to mechanism. And for that, we're gonna need to be able to auto-craft basic control circuits, which is just osmium and enriched redstone. So we're gonna need a lot of metallurgic infusers. But as you can see here, I don't actually have the furnaces. So if I hold down control and hit the plus, it'll prompt us with crafting up the furnaces. And then we just have to reselect the metallurgic infusers after that. So to set these machines up, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did over there. And then the only actual difference is we'll need redstone and the osmium going in making the basic circuit, for example. But we don't want too much redstone going in because we can see this requires only 20 megabytes. So if we go into here, we can see what each piece gives us. So 1 rich redstone will give us 80, that's too much. 1 block of redstone will give us 90, which is still too much. And then 1 redstone will give us 10, which is perfect because we can just double that up. So if we do this, add 1 redstone, we can set that there, and then we just need 1 piece of osmium. And we'll just bring that down to 1, set that, then we can just click and drag this one in, and we can make that pattern right there. But then to make the advanced control circuit, we're gonna need infused alloy as well. And to make that, we just need 1 piece of iron and 10 redstone. So we got the 1 iron there, and we only actually need 1 piece of redstone, and then make that into our pattern. Then it's just a regular crafting pattern. So we'll throw this one into here, and then seeing as both of these use redstone as the liquid agent, I guess, we can actually throw them both into here. And then it's just the same thing for the reinforced alloy and then the atomic alloy. However, for the diamond, we're actually gonna need to change it into diamond dust, and that requires a crusher. And thankfully we have all of those items ready to be crafted, which means now all I have to do is place this down here and then add my importer. So now all we need to do is have this set to do a diamond and then output the diamond dust. So let's take that. And while we're here, we also need to look at the obsidian, and we need 40. So we're gonna have to make refined obsidian dust, which is obsidian dust through a metallurgic infuser. And that is obsidian through an enrichment chamber. So we'll create one for obsidian while we are here, and then we'll put the enrichment chamber right there. Then we'll throw the obsidian dust into there, and then the diamond crusher one into here, which means I believe we can craft up our crushed diamond. Yep, there it goes. And then all we have to do is put that into there, along with 1 infused alloy, and that should make 1 reinforced alloy. So now all that's left is the atomic, which is where that dust came in, and that uses diamond as well, and only 10, which makes the refined obsidian dust. And then both of these will go into the diamond one, which just leaves us needing the refined obsidian dust and the reinforced alloy, which will finally make the atomic alloy. And that will go in the last one. So now I believe I can craft every single one of these. What? Why are you not working? Whatever, just whatever. Well, I guess we're gonna have to use this after all, because I think our problem is our items are being inputted in from the top, and then also our infused type is also being input from the top. So I think it's getting confused on which one's supposed to be which. So we need to change the sides, but we have the power on the back, and that's why I want to make these ender gates. So let's go down to the first one, and we'll need that ender core like I said before, which is an ender eye, one of the casings, and a tiny basic capacitor. So I believe I just have to throw them in here, and the lasers will start shooting out of our energizing rods and create our ender core. Cool. So I can build some of these ender gates now, but we're gonna need an energy cell in the first place to provide these gates with power, but they're also only providing 500 FE a tick, so I'm gonna want one of the higher tier ones to begin with. I'm kind of curious how hard this one's gonna be. These nitro crystals, which is 2 redstone blocks, another star, and block of blazing crystal, which is a blaze mesh, which is just a bunch of blaze rods. So we can do a couple of these. Oh, but it requires 810 FE a tick. And these starter rods here only do 100 to tick. So we're gonna need to upgrade these. What does the 1K one require? Block of quartz, a basic energizing rod. Okay, so we have to go 1 tier down, which requires the starter one, the basic capacitors, casing, and then some quartz. That's pretty easy. But then we're also gonna need to replace these cables as well. So what does the next tier require? Either energized steel, or we can just use the basic cable, which why not? But for the hardened capacitor, we're gonna need the energized steel, which is just gold and iron in the system. And I guess we're placing this back down. So there's the gold and the iron, and that'll give us 2 energized steel. Okay, that's pretty good, but I'm gonna make a few more of these. Now we can make our hardened capacitors. Oh wait, no, we need the basic. All right, now we can. Now we just upgrade the energizing rods all the way up to hardened, which means now we can take our blaze mesh and throw that in there. And it's actually going up at a pretty decent rate. I think I might as well try this. So let's throw all these in, and I already know this is going to take quite a bit of time. That's actually not too bad. Nice. So now we just need a couple nitro capacitors. Oh, and then we need the lower tier energy cells. I am a genius. That's actually not too bad at all. There's the basic, the hardened, blazing, I want to say naotic, but now we need spirited crystals. And that's just an emerald. Okay, we can do that. Spirited. And finally, the nitro. So now we can come to our reactor, and I need another power tap. And we'll just break one of those, throw that down, turn the reactor back on, and I want to just say we throw this down beside it. Yep, it's charging up. So now with that there, I believe we just need the gate. And the max one really isn't that bad. Just need a couple of the cables, and I could use the previous tier, but why not just use the nitro crystal? So there's the ender gates. And now I believe I can just place them on, hello? Why can I not place these down? Do I need to put them in here? No. Okay, I'm confused. Okay, we need an ender cell. And that's very easy to make as well. And we don't need the lower tiers. So now we just come down here and actually pick this up. And then we place the ender cell down. And once we go into it, we shift click this into there. But now we need to come into our infuser and we need to actually configure the energy side front to be the input. And that will allow us to place this right onto there, because if you don't do that, it won't let you place it down. And then we can deactivate the back, remove these, and then we're gonna need to move these up. Gonna grab a barrel, put it there, place some pipes going in, making sure this pipe right here is actually disconnected, then adding a whitelist for redstone. So now the back can be configured to input for the infusing, and then we'll go to this pipe, add the redstone, but have it blacklisted. So now that should work. So hopefully if I start this up now, yes, it's working. Okay, that was a long process, but at least we have it working. Too bad this looks awful. Well, we'll fix it up as much as we can for now. Good enough. So now if I go to craft the atomic alloy, it will go through both of these ones as is. So let's try. Got everything necessary. Let's hope it shows up. Yes, it did. Okay, thank you. However, now we should be able to throw in some upgrades, and we have some right here. So I'm going to throw in some energy, some speed, and muffling just because. There we go. And now this room should pretty much be max for speed. But now I want to see if I can actually craft up this 10 million storage disk, because it'd be pretty great if we can. Missing a lot of slime, a lot of sand, lots of diamonds. Oh, silicon, iron, string, nether stars, and gold. No, we're not doing that. Either way, I think it's time to sort out this room here, because I also think this crafting area doesn't look the greatest. So let's go ahead and move everything around. Okay, that should be a lot of help. So I just took all our crops from around one area, kind of put them onto this pad here, but then everything we need for our prediction matrices, I actually made a new room for, and just down below, we have a whole new farming area. And this is where all the crops for those matrices are growing. And then right here we have our blaze rod farm that's powering our Ars Narvo mod stuff. And along with that, we cleaned up this room a little bit, moving all the stuff for the matrices over here, and then everything else into these ones here. But now with that out of the way, we still don't have enough to make the storage drive. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of progression towards the ATM star. And that is crafting singularities, which is used in the Master of the Sky section to make this Nexum emitter? Nexum? Something like that. So we're gonna need to get into applied energistics, which means we need to go find some Certus quartz, and I believe there's only one way to do that. So if we come out of our base and we fly in this direction, we'll come across this little meteor crash site. And I'm actually gonna take a lot of the skystone here as well, because not only do we need to dig into the meteor to get to this part, but skystone is kind of important for this mod. I don't actually want to break any of these blocks here because they're what generates Certus quartz. So if we break some of these that are on top, we'll get Certus quartz dust. And then we just have regular Certus blocks here as well. But I might actually need to take some. So let's take the flawed ones because that doesn't matter. Flawless will leave. And then chipped because that's worse than the flawed. I believe we can just place these damaged ones down now. And then once we break those, they turn into Certus quartz. But let's go into this chest here, or just break it, and we'll get all the presses we need for this mod. So now if we come back home, I'm gonna need to craft some of these inscribers. That just requires iron, copper, and sticky pistons. And I'm gonna make 5 of these, and then take some crafters, and then I'm gonna build a new room right here. So let's do that. There we go. And I forgot to replace the ceiling. Anyway, but now with these slots I have set up, we can just go ahead and place the crafters down. And then on 5 of them, we can put the inscribers down right underneath and then put some importers underneath those. And then in each one of these, we want to make it so auto export is on. And then the automation access mode is set to the 3 dots right there. And that will make it so we can go ahead and put, example, the inscriber logic press in, and that will never get extracted out and it will never be fully used. So we can do that for each one of these, and then this one will be left blank for now. But now we need to go ahead and make an ME controller, which requires flux crystal. That we don't have, so let's go on to the engineering processor for now. And for that, we're gonna need a printed engineering circuit and a printed silicon mixed with redstone. But for the circuit, we're gonna need to put a diamond in with the inscriber engineering press. So let's hit process, set one diamond, and then we just drag one of the printed circuits in. Make that into a pattern, but now we need to do the silicon one as well, which is the inscriber silicon press with silicon. So let's take their silicon and do the exact same thing. But now the final step to combine them all together, we're gonna need redstone as well. So I'm hoping I can just put those three things in like that and have it put out the engineering processor, but I'm not too sure. So let's go try it. I'm really hoping this works. So let's put that in there. And then the crafter with the inscriber engineering press, we're gonna throw this pattern in, and then the one with the silicon, we're gonna throw this one in. So now I hope I can just craft this, but it needs power. And of course these don't work. Maybe we can provide from the back. Yep, that works. And yes, it does put it all in. I just need to finish adding the power. So that's the processor done. Now we just need to figure out the flux crystal. And for that, we'll just need nether quartz, redstone, and charged Certus quartz, which we get by putting Certus quartz into a charger. We got the Certus quartz right here, but I kind of want to make a seed for this first, as this seed is going to be very helpful. So let's just place it down here, and then we'll just add a crafting recipe for it. And then now I believe we can actually craft up this charger, and then just place it down right there. Now we can turn that into a recipe. And after crafting 4 of those, I just need 4 redstone and 4 quartz. And then with our little water pool here, I believe we can just throw all of these in and it'll spit out 8 flux crystals. And then we just make a seed for that as well. We'll just need 2 more blocks worth, which will allow us to plant that down. And then once again, add the crafting recipe. And now we can make our ME controller. And I believe every other thing we need to make as well. Oh wait, we need the cable. We just need to make the quartz fiber. And that's pretty easy. How do we get the quartz dust? Oh, just by putting quartz through a crusher. We can do that. And then we can do this one as well. So now after doing one craft through, we can make the drive. But now we're gonna need a crafting terminal. And I'm gonna say at least this 256K ME storage component, which is gonna require some new things. A couple different processors that's made with a few different components that will just go through our machines like normal. And then skystone dust, which is made by putting a piece of skystone through an inscriber. So that's fairly easy. I'll see you when it's all done. There we go. So let us just go ahead and start placing this stuff down. Let's put our drive in front of that, our pipe above there, and then, well, I guess the terminal can go there. Maybe we'll have it out one more like that. Now we just throw our card in here and there is a second storage system, but we are not done because we're not going to use it as a storage system like this. We just needed this to make the singularities. Oh, I forgot the matter condenser. That's easy to make anyways. But the whole reason for the system is for this card right here, ME Infinity Cobblestone Cell. So let's make that. And now we'll throw it into here and that will allow us to have unlimited cobblestone. And from there, I'm actually just gonna pipe it in behind this section from this system right here into the matter condenser. We'll just need an export bus that we're gonna place at the bottom here, and we just add cobblestone. Then we'll just take an importer and attach it right there, going into our regular system. I just can't figure out why it's not working. Maybe do we need a card put in here? Yeah, maybe we do. Okay, so once that fills up, we'll get ourselves a singularity. But this is going very slow, so I have another way we can do this. And all we're gonna need is a sink, a pipe, one of these ultimate pipe upgrades, and obviously a wrench. So if we place the sink down there, add our pipe, with our ultimate upgrade, I can just place this matter condenser down here. And now once we throw our storage component in, look how fast that goes up. That's going up ridiculously fast. And keep in mind, every single one of those is 1 bucket full of water. And that is, I want to say milliliters or whatever Minecraft calls it. So yeah, that's a lot faster. So that's one part of a tiny piece of the mod star. We're getting there. However, I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. So if you did enjoy, please subscribe. Also, let me know down in the comments below what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy, and what I can improve upon. Also, let me know what you're looking forward to the most that I haven't gotten to yet. So have a good day. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye. That didn't work.